Welcome to Pinpoints, key points from top business webinars. The topic of this issue is Marketing Free, Strategies for the Digital Age, highlighting takeaways from a webinar with former editor-in-chief of Wired magazine, Chris Anderson. Free as you know it, buy one get one free, free gift inside, even free parking, are all elements of a tight cross subsidy where you're giving away one product to sell another, as consumers are paying one way or another. If you're not paying now, you're paying later. In economic terms, we call that scarcity versus abundance. You have a scarcity marketplace of regular stuff that obeys the traditional laws of economics. There's real cost associated with that stuff. Therefore, you need to get those costs paid back quickly, which is why we need tight cross subsidies. Abundance is not something we think about very often. Economics is part of the science of choice over scarcity, and so the idea of something being too cheap to matter is alien to us. But there is precedent for it in history. Nuclear power was potentially to bring us a day when electricity would be too cheap to matter, because the plentiful uranium, the fuel, and conversion to electricity were so powerful that we had stopped thinking of electricity as being a scarcity function. The digital age has made three things that are as important as electricity too cheap to matter. Those three are processing, bandwidth, and storage. In the 15 years of the web, we've seen three eras of making money around free. The first era was the simplest. People used free to create an audience, traffic, and attention. Then they applied the old business model of media to that market and sold advertising against it. When radio and television are free to air, they are a free product and are monetized by advertising. The second wave of the internet was also based on advertising, but rather than being scaled around mass, it was scaled around micro, and that's Google's AdSense and AdWords. They said, look, we're going to target very specific ads for specific content, but it's a very effective marketing technique and a very good way to find customers. Over the past 2 or 3 years, there's been the rise of the third area, the greatest of the free-based business models, and that's called freemium. Freemium is when you get directly paid by your consumers. It's not advertising paid, but rather than being paid by all your consumers, you're paid by just a few of them. This is the fastest growing business model, and the only great business model of the internet is to use freemium and to have at least two products. One free product that is limited in some features or time, and a paid product. Then segment your marketplace. Use free to lower the barrier entry and to expose the product to the maximum number of people. Then be very clear about the choice. Consumers can get value from the free ones, but some consumers will want more. And then you should have something more to offer them and charge for that. So you would have to have at least 2 tiers of products. But ideally, you would keep segmenting even beyond that, such as premium, super premium, ultra premium, etc. To balance that the right way, don't give away too much so that people don't convert, and don't give away too little. If that's the case, people won't engage with the free form, and they won't be receptive to the paid one. One way is so-called feature limited. The free form has got fewer features than the paid form. An example of this is Ning, a social network platform. It has about 2 million social networks on it. Most of them are free, but some of the ones are for companies or individuals who take their networks very seriously. They can buy features that allow them to create a better experience. The second one, which is the easiest to implement, is time limited. This is your classic free sample or demo example, where you can try the product for 30 days for free, and at the end of 30 days, it expires and you have to pay. The third freemium form is capacity limited. Flickr is a good example of this. The casual users can get 5 megabytes or 10 megabytes of storage or bandwidth for free. But the power users, who upload more pictures and videos, have to pay for additional usage. The fourth is appropriate to commercial enterprise software and is called seat limited. It says that 5 people can use it for free, and more than 5 people will have to pay. Try the product on one team, and if it works in that team, deploy it across your company to all of your teams. The fifth model is Customer Class Limited. Microsoft is an example. They'll give away all of their enterprise software for free to startups. If you're less than 3 years old with less than $1 million in revenue, you can get all of Microsoft's enterprise class software for free. As you graduate from that category, then you have to pay. The question for all of us is, we have a compelling proposition. We have something people want. We now have to segment the market into the free and the paid and make the freemium equation right. Chris Anderson was editor-in-chief of Wired Magazine. The featured webinar was produced by SoundView Live.